going?
Yo, yo, yo. What up? What
Hey,
up?
one more time.
What up,
Okay,
everybody?
we are back. We are back.
Uh, mm.
Whew. How's it going? How we doing? How we living
We're good. We're
today?
like matching today. It's like Black Hoodie Day.
Oh, black to black, blackity
Oh,
black, black,
yeah.
black.
Black on black, black, so black on black on black, black on black on black. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I look like I have a hangover today.
Welcome back, you guys. Ooh, you got a hangover from what? New man.
Nah, nah, I don't have a
Hangover
hangover.
from
Nah, I don't even drink. But I know I look like I have a hangover because the light is bright. I have a headache and it's like whoosh whoosh. So yeah. But we gonna rock it. We gonna rock it today, man.
I understand.
We gonna rock it today. California's
How's
trying to get
everybody
cold.
doing? Thank you so much. Huh?
Yeah, I said California's trying to
What you
get
say?
cold on me. California trying to get
Oh,
cold on
yeah,
me.
it is. Yeah, it's already been cold here. I look like a oompa loompa today. I do not know why. My makeup makes me look really orangey today. Ew.
Ba doom ba doom ba dee doo.
Oompa,
Mm.
oompa, doopa.
I love those songs, by the way.
Right.
Great holiday movie, everybody. If you're trying to figure out some
It is a
stuff to
great
do,
holiday movie to watch.
both.
Right.
Even the newer one, the one
Yeah,
even
so
the Johnny Depp one, they got some dope new songs or like
yeah.
newer songs. It's not new, but revamps. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Johnny Depp one though, it always seems a little weird. You don't think?
Well, yeah, yeah.
It
He's
has a
weird.
weirdness
He
to
has
it.
a quirky
He's just
thing to him. Yeah, that's what he brings. You know, that's what he
yeah,
does.
he's just a
He's
little.
yeah.
I think
But the
that's what
songs
made
are
him so
fire. The
good at
remixes.
Edward Scissorhands.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. I love that movie.
Love Edward Scissorhands. But
That's a
anyway,
good
you
holiday
all,
movie
thank you
too.
so much for joining us for another episode of The Way Love Goes. I am your girl, Tierra Monique, and we are joined by my co-host who has a headache. No, he has a ring light hangover. Is that what you said? Mr. My
Yeah.
brother from another mother.
Dondeez in the house.
What's
What's
your name,
up?
sir?
What's up? My name is Dondeez.
What's it?
What up? What up?
Uh-oh, we're having
Let's get it
internet issues
popping.
again today, you guys.
Fun, fun, fun.
So, so what's been going on with you? Oh, I'm sorry. I already said the intro, but anyway, so what's been going
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hi,
Let's do a little
everybody.
check-in off right now. I think I need water.
Get some
Um,
water. Stay hydrated. Where's my water? Yeah. I stay hydrated. You gotta stay hydrated, guys.
hi.
Mm. It's gonna save us. It's gonna
Hello,
save our
Carol.
lives. Carol, what's good? What's good? What's good? Mm.
So what's going on with you, my brother?
Dude, I am. I don't know. It's crazy, man. I have for some reason Fridays are like the busiest days. I just be getting all these random things to do that's just like piling up over the week, but not because I've been putting them off. It just like they're new added on. So that is an
Uh-huh.
interesting dynamic that I've been dealing with. And then
Right.
yeah, man, I don't know. Like this week, I don't know if this is happening in schools everywhere, but in all my kids' classes, they're like, yo, half the class is sick. Half the my son's friends are like not coming to school because they've been sick all week or whatever. Somebody said it was like because the kids been wearing masks
Yeah.
and they've been like isolated. They haven't got the things that they usually get exposed to regularly. So now like all this stuff is attacking them, and they're
Mm.
yeah, they're getting it. So I don't know, man. I tell my kids, yo, stay away from me. I don't want to get sick.
Thank you, Carol. Yeah, I understand. My youngest son, Jonathan, he was out yesterday. I'm trying to
Oh,
get my
okay.
weeks together because he was out last week too, but he was out again yesterday because he coughed so much the night before and he didn't get any sleep, and even with the medicine.
Oh.
And the doctor had told him, it's funny because he had just went to the doctor, okay, so for his well visit, and
Mm-hmm.
I was telling him that he was getting better, and that he wasn't having too many issues, and that he would cough during the day and not at night. Well, I don't know when, but that night after we came from that night of the doctor visit, he coughed all
The cough
night.
heard you.
And
Cough was like,
then
oh,
he
oh, oh,
woke
oh,
up,
you
and
said
I was
I'm
like,
not active at night.
right.
Oh,
So
let me show you what's up.
right. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was like, he was home yesterday, and then oh my gosh, I think I might have to move close to my modem. Internet issues, you guys, today. I
Yeah.
apologize. But so yes.
Any internet companies who want to sponsor us?
Other than that, that's all that's going on with. Yes, if you'd like to sponsor us. Oh, okay, Carol. So he actually does have an inhaler, but his cough was a lingering cough from when he caught a cold on his birthday weekend from his
Mm-hmm.
not his nephew, his cousin.
Cousin.
So that's what that happened. So he does have an inhaler, but that's like for like wheezing. So he wasn't wheezing. He was just mucus. He had mucus. That mucus is that old
It's all
nasty
up in
mucus.
there.
So, but he's better
Mm.
today. So he went to school. Thank you. Yeah. So
Hallelujah.
thank you, Carol.
Won't he do it?
But yeah. So he went to school
Mm-hmm.
today, and other than that, want to do it. He's doing well. I think more or less he was happy today was Friday. He knew that. He's
Does he get that
already
whole week off?
caught on to the concept of being happy for Friday, huh?
Does he get the whole week off? Because I know my
What you
kids
say?
do next week for Thanksgiving.
Nope, nope, nope. I wish they did. They get out Wednesday, so they don't. So they have to
Oh.
go to school Monday and Tuesday, and
Mm-mm.
yeah, it
Give
sucks.
him the week.
They need to let them go ahead and just have the whole week off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when he did virtual, he had the whole week off. But he's back in school now, so now it's like the whole.
Mm.
He has to go to school Monday and Tuesday. But the good thing is we don't have to travel. We're not traveling anywhere this year, so it's just off to
Nice.
grandma's house. So we'll just be going to grandma's house and having Thanksgiving over there. So
I used to love grandma's
that.
house, man.
And then you
Mm.
have any Thanksgiving plans?
Man, we're gonna be at the house. We're gonna be chilling. Because we curate our own, menu, and then we ain't got to worry about nobody else's food
Mm-hmm.
allergies or what they want. We be like, look, this what we want. This what we finna do. All right. You want to put
Right.
that whipped cream on that?
Right.
Put it on, sir. Yeah, yeah, So it's nice
Right.
and chill day. I think one thing we might do this year that would be fun is like get everybody involved in the cooking, like the kids, myself, because my wife, she can cook up a storm, like she's the master. But it'll be nice for us to, be these little apprentices in there helping mashing up stuff, stirring up stuff. My girls actually like, it's kind of fun. They like doing stuff, so
Excuse me.
we just make it a whole big event. We make it a whole thing. You coughing too now?
Just had a little tickle in my throat from not drinking enough
No, that's how
water.
it
That's all.
starts.
There's some
That's how
dry
it
air in
starts.
here. It's like
It's just always a
no,
little
no, no, no,
tickle.
no. Look, we rebuke
Next week we're gonna cancel the show because
COVID
Tierra's gonna
over
be
here.
out.
No COVID over here.
She gonna be out.
We rebuke COVID over here. Oh look, I don't look orange anymore.
Hallelujah.
Look,
Mm,
no, but
mm,
look, and it came back. I
mm.
don't know what's going on. But anyway,
I know what's going on.
uh,
Right,
I'm
Carol.
trying
Teach
to
them
think
why
right
they're
now.
young.
No,
You
let me
right.
tell you
You
something.
right.
It's hot in here, it's cold in here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's
Mm-hmm.
hot and then it's cold because I live on the top floor, so the heat
Mm-hmm.
rises. And so at night I have the heat on because it gets really cold at night. Listen, it was 37 degrees today here in Virginia. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And then you turn the heat on and that dry air is just circulating.
My
And it
Lord.
doesn't help that my neighbors smoke that
Oh,
gum.
that doesn't help at all. I got that
And I
everywhere,
live in Oakland,
all
so
over,
yeah, I live in Oakland.
everywhere. I feel like I just live in a big
Catching a
hot
whole
box.
contact without even
It's
smoking.
serious. I feel you on that. That's why I have to do my workouts early in the morning before these people wake up.
Oh, I know it. I know it. It's
Yeah.
like, look, there is no hate towards anybody who decides to participate in the 420. That's your business. I just saying, like,
Do your
you.
thing. Do your
I
thing.
think it's just like for people who smoke cigarettes. Sometimes you don't understand that people who don't smoke, like the effects, the side effects of you smoking, how it affects us. So even though
Mm-hmm.
I don't smoke weed. That's your business. I mean, I'm not against it. I just don't. Um, I would say I don't on a regular. I have
Mm.
I have before, but um, it affects us differently, you know. So
Yeah,
it is what
yeah,
it
yeah.
is. But anyway,
It is
so
what it
before we get
is.
into the meat and potatoes of this episode, because we're gonna have a tight hour, make this a hot tight hour today. Um, let's go ahead and just do what we got to do. Don't
Ooh.
forget to like, share, and subscribe, people. Y'all are watching, but are y'all liking? Don't forget to subscribe.
Ooh.
You're watching, but are you subscribing? You need to subscribe to us. We're
Yes.
on a campaign, you guys. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Can you help us get to 1,000
Yeah, 1K.
subscribers?
Get that first
We're
K.
asking you so we can go ahead and monetize this. We can monetize this. Right. So we're trying to get to 1K. Okay. 1,000 subscribers. I wish
Mom, what's
everybody who
up?
is following me on, I about to say on the tick, on the Instagram
On the
would
Instagrams. Mm-hmm.
would go ahead and do their thing. But
Just
1K
just pop
subscribers,
it.
you guys.
Let's get it. Let's
We're
go.
trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers. But yeah. So don't forget to tell your sister, tell your mother, tell your friend, tell your brother, tell your enemy to like, share, and subscribe to the Way Love Goes podcast, the
Do it
YouTube channel,
now.
as well as on Anchor and Spotify. I don't think that we're back on Apple yet,
Yeah, we gonna
but
get we yeah, yeah, yeah.
there it is.
Yeah, we talking to
All
the
right,
management.
all right. Yeah. All right, so let's get into the topic of today: alone versus lonely. Can you be with you?
Hmm.
It is that time of the season where people are alone. All their boos and bays and whoever their temporary situations have gone on to yonder. They're not
Mm.
around anymore. And
Mercy.
some of us have a hard time. Some of us have a hard time this time of year when it comes to being alone and being without. So,
Hmm.
and then those are people, then there are people who actually enjoy their alone time. And
Yep.
they're good. They're like, you know what, I'm good. I'm good with being here by myself. Solo, dolo, I am with it. Um, so what say you? Have you ever experienced um alone time that was good, alone time that caused you to be lone to cause you to slip into loneliness that then slipped into sadness?
So I was thinking about this as I was just kind of looking over the doc and stuff. I was like, I definitely had alone time where it was good. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Because that's just your own curated experience. Like, yeah, you got that. I was trying to think if I've ever felt alone, um, and it made me like feel kind of like down. And the
Mm-hmm.
question that came up to me was, do like if you're left out of something, does that count as a feeling of loneliness, or is that something different? And one of the articles I was looking at actually does list, and we'll see it in a second. Um, Being left out as part of
Mm-hmm.
identifying with that emotion of loneliness. So I've had times like that where, especially like it's decreased, as I've gotten older, but in high school and early parts of college, even like early parts of after college, sort of like like my first times of really socializing as an adult, or as a more mature person. I felt that like the issue I used to have before when I would date was that I was kind of really clingy. So when my whoever I was dating was doing other stuff that didn't include
Mm-hmm.
me, then I felt left out. And so those were the times where I could say I probably experienced the emotion of loneliness to the point where I was kind of feeling down, like, man, why they didn't want to include me? Why are they doing stuff
Right.
without me? And so over time, that got better, but definitely I can identify to feelings of being left out of things as my feeling down for being lonely. I would say, yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have experienced being alone good, being alone not so good, that is slipped into loneliness and sadness and then depression. It's like bloop bloop
Mm.
bloop 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 bloop, bloop, like on the games. You go
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the sound of that. So,
yeah.
so yeah,
I
so
think of
I
that
have had
Mario. Yeah.
before. Yeah, yeah. Um, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing when it goes that way, because and we said this before on our last podcast about cuffing season. If you haven't watched it, please go back and do that. But sometimes when you get
Do that.
into that part, you're like loneliness,
Mm-hmm.
start
Mm-hmm.
entertaining the wrong people. So you can entertain the wrong people, and then you can
Yeah.
entertain the wrong thoughts. You can entertain the wrong opportunities, because everything that says hello is not worth a hello back. It's worth a goodbye.
Ooh,
It's like,
bars.
no, 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 no. You want
Not
to
today.
not say hello to everything. Not today. You don't want to say hello to everything.
I
So
rebuke you.
I so yes, and but right now, in the season that I'm in right now, um I like being alone. I like being
Mm.
at home sometimes on a Friday, on a Saturday, and on my couch and watching a good movie, a good documentary. I like catching up on something. Sometimes I'll read a book if I'm really into my book mode, and sometimes I'm not. I want to take a nap. So it's like I guess it just all depends. It's in your mood. If you want to be around people and when you don't want to be around people. But I know
Mm-hmm.
this season, really makes you want to be around people. Like Thanksgiving and Christmas,
Yeah.
it just really makes you want to be around people. And some people don't have anybody. And so it can cause loneliness and it can cause depression. And so the definition that psychology today has, they have being alone versus being lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I just left here. Where did Oh, hold on. This is a whole. Hold on. Okay. So the key difference between being lonely and being alone is emotional attachment. Being alone is
Mm.
a state of being, so I'm just alone, while loneliness is a feeling. We can be
Mm-hmm.
perfectly happy being by ourselves, but we can also be lonely if we're with a group of people. So that there is a possibility that you can feel lonely when you are with people. Like you always hear people who
Yeah.
are married and they say, I'm married, but I still feel lonely in this relationship. So, have you ever felt that before in a relationship where like you
Kel,
felt
it's killing me here. Yeah.
alone even though you were with someone? Are you
Um. Uh, Let me think
relationship?
about that. Let me think about that. I usually go pretty hard in relationships, so I uh I haven't felt alone in the relationship, or like had the loneliness feeling in the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm usually so engaged on my part. I
Mm-hmm.
probably miss if they're not engaged. If they're not engaged, I'll be like just doing my thing. Now I don't know if they have felt that from me. Maybe, um, I can think of some times where I have been not as good as have been not as good at making the connections. Because it seems like that's the key component, right? Okay, the loneliness is tied to not making the healthy connections, right? So I think I've
Right.
been in relationships where I was maybe more in it for the fun of the thing and never really got down to the more, all right, let's get to know each other, levels of the relationship. And so in that sense, I
Right.
probably could have fostered, space for the other person to feel lonely, because I was just like, all right, hey, we're just having fun. And they might have wanted to go deeper. And I just missed out on that. So I could have contributed that way.
Right.
But I, for myself, I wouldn't say I've really
Right.
had that experience of lonely. Or maybe I did and I didn't even know it. That could
Okay.
have that
I
could have
know
been part too.
I have experienced feeling lonely while around people. And I know
Mm,
that the articles that we looked at and we read, it said that it's because loneliness is an attachment to emotions. If you don't feel
mm-hmm,
emotionally connected with people, lonely. So I've been around friends per se and
mm,
felt lonely. The emotional connection we used to have, like as the strong, it's no longer there. It's not as strong anymore. It's like, you can always tell. It was like hanging on by a thread. And so you
yeah,
start to feel a
yeah.
little alone. And even in relation, when I was married, and people who are married in relationships can probably attest to this, that when you're married and when you're in a relationship, sometimes if you're going through something, you can feel alone. The emotional connection that you have is starting to, kind of dwindle a little bit, because if
Mm-hmm,
you're not spending enough time with each other, if you're not really taking the time to like have quality time together, because you can be in the same room and not be spending time with each other. Like I could be
Right.
on the couch
Be on
watching
my
TV.
phone.
You can be, on the couch on your, whatever. We're
Yeah.
together, but we're not spending quality time together. And I think that's the difference. And that can make you feel lonely, even though you're both together. That's why some people don't understand. Well, what do you mean you're lonely? We were just together. No, we weren't together. We were together in a sense. You were there and I was there, but we weren't together
Yeah.
connected. Like we weren't connected together while we were in that same space. And then the flip side of that is people who are single. Um, some people don't understand that people who are single can be happy because you think that, well, you're single,
Yeah.
you must be like must be desiring someone. You have to be, and I'm like, I desire someone, but I'm still okay.
Yeah.
I'm not depressed. I don't feel lonely. I think I have times of when I yearn, I long for companionship. Like on my way
Hmm.
home, sometimes driving home from my mom's house, I'm like, oh, somebody was there to help me take Jonathan in the house if we sleep,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I had somebody to help me with these groceries in the house. Like sometimes situational longing, or
Yeah.
just having someone you want to share things with. You want to share things with. You don't want to go through life not sharing something with someone. So that kind of
Yeah.
longing. But then once I get home and I get on the couch or whatever, and I start doing things, it kind of like goes away, because I'm already content at where I am, even though I still desire to be with someone. And I think that's a great place to be, because if you're not in that space as a single person, you can find yourself, like we said before, entertaining the wrong people. Because if
Mercy.
you're not in a space where I'm happy being single, I'm content where I am, but I still desire to be someone, then you'll be like, oh, okay, whoever says hello, I'm going to say hello back. Whenever the devil brings back somebody else from your past that you haven't talked to in months, they come back, you'll start
Hmm.
like justifying a reason why you should talk to them, even though you should not be talking to
You
them at
know.
all.
You now.
So
You know.
that's that.
You shouldn't be talking to them. Yeah. Well, and there was
No,
one thing too.
no,
The
yeah, not at all.
there was one thing. Uh, one article. This psychologist was saying, if you think about and you consider emotions come in waves, and so they do hit
Right.
and then they pass. So it's good. Like a healthy way to kind of deal with that is let's find, maybe in the time when it's a lull, when you're not feeling that emotion, you can kind of like think about, okay, what are some ways that I can practically, ride out this wave, or how can I successfully surf this thing? Because I know it's going to come. And if I have a plan in place beforehand, when it hits, I'll be like, okay, cool. I know where we're at. Let me see what we can do about
Right.
this. How can we like manage this thing out? Um, you know,
Right.
and that's yeah, that's good if you can do that. If you can come up with a plan.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, the other website that we went to called wellandgood.com,
Mm,
which is a really good website for y'all to visit. So we already tackled a couple of them. Alone means simply a state of being. Loneliness is an emotion, a way you feel, like sadness. And the difference is connection, which we said that, it's the connection. And they said that we encourage you to be proactive in building healthy connections with people, even if you are a person who likes to be alone. I think that's really good, because even if you're a person who likes to be alone, like an introvert, it
hmm
is still important and very imperative for you to build connections, healthy connections with people, because it's like you want to have a sense of community. I think even though
Yeah.
you may like to be alone, I know me, I'm like an introvert and extrovert. I don't know what they call it, but I'm an introvert and an
Omnivert.
extrovert. And even though I like to be alone sometimes, I still like that sense of people know who I am and they want me around. You know, it's like a sense
Yeah.
of belonging. I still belong to a group of people who love me and care about me and will call me or you know will invite me out. So it's like sometimes I think that you can get into a place where you're okay with being alone, but
Yeah.
if no one calls you to invite you anywhere, I wonder does that make that person um become lonely, like a loneliness can set in because then that's a feeling, that's an
Yeah.
emotional attachment to that because now you don't feel anybody wants you around. It's one thing where you want to be by
Yeah.
yourself, but then it's another thing where you feel like nobody wants you around.
Right.
What
Right.
do you
Right.
think about that?
Yeah. It's true because probably like you be feel you're like I don't know how I would say it. Like it's almost like it dawns on you or it settles in. You're like, dude,
Right,
do I have friends? I don't have friends.
right,
Nobody. I haven't gone out in whatever period of time, and then it's it might at first it might be like kind of like dang, but then it starts settling in, and you're like, wait a minute, like, is there something wrong with me? Like, why is this? Why
mm-hmm.
am I this way? Why is this? Or the other reaction is you start justifying it and you start hardening up, and then you kind of like push people away,
Right,
and then that's another kind of like
right,
unhealthy
right,
version of coping with loneliness, and it's like nah, man. So yeah, I haven't
right.
had too much of that from because of being in a more extroverted
Mm-hmm.
person. But like I said, in those times when I was in like
Mm-hmm.
high school and felt left out, I was like, I remember asking, I was just like, why did they not want me to be here? Why was I not invited to be a part of this thing? Are they really my friends? Are they my friends to a certain thing? And then in high school, I had white friends too. So I was like, is this a race thing? Is this the Wahite stuff they doing, and I can't come to the Wahite stuff, or what? What your mind will do crazy stuff, and that's why it's unhealthy. That's why it's unhealthy,
Yeah,
because you
yeah,
you you start you
yeah.
start spinning. And so yeah, there's
Right,
yeah, it's something to watch for sure. It's something to watch for.
right. And on the flip side of that is you don't like to be alone. So it's a person who likes to be alone and I don't, I'm good. And then it's the
Hmm.
person who does not like to be alone and then they're always surrounded by people. Like you ever meet someone who's like they gotta be. They gotta
Yeah.
be at every shindig party, every event, every function. They have to always be in the limelight. Not I wouldn't say the limelight. They always gotta be in the circle. They always have to be at where everything's
Yeah.
never
Up in the
by
mix.
themselves and be by themselves. That's why our question with you, can you actually be with you when even though there's so much stuff going on, can you actually sit with yourself and not go anywhere? I had a conversation with a guy
Right.
a couple of days ago, and he was like, he had just gotten home, he had a full day, took a shower, he was all good. It was almost 11 o'clock at night, and he was like, all right, well, I'm about to go and get dressed and go to the bar and have a drink. I mean, like, it's like, don't you gotta get up in the morning? He was like, yeah, I just don't like to be at home by myself. I don't like to be alone.
Um,
So it's like, it's hard for me to to fall asleep in the bed by myself. And I'm thinking, like, but you still have to come back home to get
yeah.
in the bed by yourself, unless you go into the bar to pick up somebody else. Unless you go into the bar to pick
Hey.
somebody else.
Yo. Whoa.
How do you like? It's like what? So
Yeah.
all these questions started going in my head. Okay, so if we were together, how would you handle that? Because I wouldn't be around you all the time. So it's like I don't know. There are people who just they cannot, they don't like it. It just feels so weird to be in the house by themselves. And I can understand like
Hmm.
if you were in a situation where you were married at one time and or living with people and now you're by yourself
Hmm.
and you're at home, and so it feels kind of weird to be in the house by yourself because you don't know how to adjust to that. But but that's like something different. But if you don't
Yeah.
know how to be by yourself and enjoy your own company, and you have to be around someone else, something is wrong there. Because if you don't know how to be with you, then how will I be able to be with you?
Right.
If you don't know how to enjoy your own company, then how will I be able to enjoy, because you don't even know what you like and what you don't like by yourself. Like you don't know how to be by yourself. And Dr. Miles Monroe said that singleness is a very, very, very important thing to have and to embrace. Not just because it says it in the Bible, but you have to be single, meaning you have to be whole first as a
Mm-hmm.
person and single
Mm-hmm.
and be tapped into your own individuality before you can even get involved with someone else. Because then if you don't
Right.
know how to do that and then you get with somebody, then you become codependent, So you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
become codependent on someone else's presence and feeling like you don't, you can't even be, without having
Right.
people around. Have you ever met anybody like that? Have you ever
I
talked or counseled anybody who like they just don't know how to be with themselves?
I had a friend once who would always come and talk to me about her boyfriend relationship stuff. And listening to her talk about it used to exhaust me. I would get tired because and I remember, like, you know how like you get a feeling sometimes so much that you like it's been in your mind and it's been like going on in your mind and it's going so fast that it just spills out and you say it. I remember talking to her once and I was just like, "Yo, ain't you tired? Like, you are always with some dude. Like, you break up and then you get with another dude immediately. Like, you break up and you start talking to another dude. I'm like, don't you get tired? You need some time for yourself. You don't even know, you know." And it was crazy because she was a little bit shocked, but then she was like, "Dude, you're right. That's probably why I am feeling like this." And I'm like,
Right,
"Yeah, you ain't had no time to even like process the relationship you just,
right,
put a pin in, and now you're already moving on to the next one." That's a lot of whatever, we were talking about baggage before, so it's like whatever baggage or whatever processing has
yeah,
not been done, whatever closure has not been had, you're now bringing that in
mhm,
to this next person. And if you've been doing that back to back to back to back, by the fourth person, oh my gosh, they got so much stuff to juggle. you know they don't even know if they're in a relationship with
right.
you, or if they're with you and like three other a dude, Brian from three trips back, you know
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what you call a serial dater. And hi,
mm,
my name is Tierra Monique, and I used to be a serial dater. So I know what that is all about. It's like
mm,
you like, but my internet's going out. But it's with yourself. And it's
mm-hmm,
hard because it's
mm-hmm.
like you have to face yourself. You have to face who you are and look at yourself and say, who am I? Like, who am I really? Like, because especially if you don't have being successful relationships, constantly going from one person to one person. Okay, maybe it's not all them. Maybe it is you. Maybe you are the common denominator. And because you
Mm-hmm.
haven't given yourself time to chill and relax, that you don't know who you are and you don't know what you need to work on, and you haven't allowed yourself to heal and figure out what's going on. You have not did what Michael Jackson and look at the man and the woman in the mirror,
Right,
and
right.
you got to do that. And it's nothing
I got a
wrong with just
question
taking
for
that
you on
break
that.
either. And it's like, okay, let me breathe and let me find out. Go ahead.
When you were in that serial dating season, did you notice that you were doing that, and did you think like, why am I doing this? Or when you're in it, are you just in it and you're not even really conscious that this is what you're doing?
I think I would say this. One person pointed out to me,
Oh, okay.
so you always gotta be with somebody. Like I was like, I know, I just want to be with. I didn't really have a reason, and then that
Mm,
was one phase of my life, and then another time in my life, when I became more aware of my emotions, and I find myself like, why, like when why is it that I'm only happy when I'm in a state of feeling wanted by a man, but I'm not
mm,
happy when I'm in a state of being wanted by myself. So
mm.
why can I not find that same peace and joy and happiness when I want myself?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to get, and then so when I realized that, it took time for me to, unravel and get to a point where I was like, okay, I actually like me. I like my quirkiness and my weirdness, and I don't necessarily need another person to make me happy. I should choose to be happy right now and find joy and also from a faith standpoint, find joy in God and reconnect back to Him. Because most of the time that we're chasing a void in our life because we're trying
Mm,
to replace God with that. I mean, we're trying to replace that person. I'm sorry, we're trying to replace God with that person. So
mm.
instead of being in tune with God, we'll go try to be in tune with someone else. And God was like, okay, wait a minute, I'm here, I'm right here. You keep skipping me, you keep going right
Yeah.
past me, and you're never going to find like pure joy with other people until you actually find it. So it was like two times, like because at that time when the person told me, I was just going. It was like, up,
Yeah.
I'm going to go date with else. Up, I'm going to date with somebody else. And they're like, girl, you don't ever just sit, you don't just be by yourself. And I was like, this is fun, but this is fun. But it
Have you
it
catched
wasn't,
the last episode of Game
because
of
I was wasting
Thrones?
a lot of time entertaining people that I know. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Go ahead. You were saying you were entertaining
that part.
people. What was that? What was that?
That part. Oh yeah, I was saying that I was entertaining people that I knew from the get go. I did
Mm-hmm.
not want to enter that I did not want to be with, but because I just enjoyed going out, I was like, okay. So like whenever somebody asked me to go out, I would just go out with them, knowing that
Mm,
I didn't really want to be with them outside of going out with them. And it wasn't about like going somebody spending no money on me. No, because usually it would
yeah.
be like I wouldn't even want them to go out to dinner. I would just want to go and like do like a meetup, like go meet
Mm-hmm.
up, walk or whatever, or just I don't know. I think because I actually enjoy getting to know different people,
Yeah.
but I don't have time wasting, getting to know people in that kind of area, because that's like a lot. You have to secure a babysitter and then,
Yeah.
do all this just in order to meet people. It's like another way. I had to figure out another way to get to know somebody. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was that.
Yeah. That's a good balance to know the
Yeah. So
difference
yeah. So yeah.
between,
So
hey,
you
this is what
found
I
out
do.
about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
There's a
that's a good.
delay.
Yeah.
So I think that I was talking and then you said.
You're right. You're right. You're right. we we'll get that worked out.
Ah, oh my
We'll
gosh.
figure this
Okay, you
out.
guys. So we found
Uh,
some information about the effects of loneliness. You want to go ahead and point out the effects of loneliness?
yeah. So there are these like things that you can check on to understand if you are in a state of, and I would say probably everybody feels lonely. Everybody gets to that space, but there are some spaces of like extreme loneliness where it begins to actually affect you, you know. And so I read an article
Right.
that gave this list of check-in questions for yourself, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
for example, do you feel a lack of companionship? Do you yourself sense that you have a lack of companionship? Do you feel left out, like I was talking before?
Mm-hmm.
Do you actually feel that, and you're like, man, I see things happening, and I feel like I have not been uh, included?
Yeah.
Do you feel in tune with people around you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you actually feel like the things that are going on in society or the things that are going on in your circles, are you connected to that? Even if it's peripheral, like maybe you haven't discussed it with the people around you, but you have a general sense of it, or you kind of like so immersed in your own space and
Right.
world that you're not connected at all. So when people are saying things and they're all like, yeah, yeah, I was thinking that, you're like, what? Really? I had no idea this was going on. Are you in tune with
Right.
those around you? Um, do you feel outgoing and friendly, or do you feel more reserved yourself? Right? Because sometimes your personality can play
Mm-hmm.
into that. And it's important to know about that, because
Right.
if you understand the value of healthy connections, you know that, okay, yes, I am a more reserved person, but I do need to somehow cultivate and build healthy connections, within my own parameters that I feel like I can do. Let me work, let me be proactive in finding, that one or two folks that I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't totally hate these people. Like they're cool. Let me try to, make some sort of connection with them. And then the last one they had on there was,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel that you are a person, or do you feel like you have people that you can turn to? If you don't feel like there's
Right.
anybody that you trust, there's nobody you could confide in or check in with, that's a sign that you need to be a little more proactive in making healthy connections, right? Making healthy connections. And a side note on this, we kind of talked about this, but side note on this is, this is the reason why this is important to identify, is because you want to understand where you are in terms of your own emotional state, right? You don't want to throw yourself into a romantic relationship when you haven't gone through the process of developing healthy connections with yourself and support from friends and family, right? Don't put all of that responsibility on like a potential partner that's coming into life. Like that's a lot of pressure for one person to have to shoulder, right? They got to be your emotional
Yeah.
support, they got to be your friends, they got to be your family, they got to be everything, because you're not at a state where you realize, I don't have enough healthy connections, so I'm about to like lock this person down, and they're gonna be my cage. I'm gonna cage them up so that anytime I need emotional anything, this is gonna be my person. No, you want to be able to diffuse that out so it can be healthy, and what you get, the reciprocation in those interactions, relationships, is edifying. It like builds you up. It makes you feel good, as opposed to it being like some kind of like
Right.
heavy pressure sort of thing, so it's good to do those little check-ins, right? Because also one other thing I'll say about that is, we emphasize the term healthy connections, because loneliness can also be tied
Mm-hmm.
to the quality of the relationship, right? That's how you can be in a relationship but you still feel lonely. So you got to focus on the quality of a relationship. If you got fake friends, if you have unsupportive loved ones, um, that doesn't help you. All of those things just make everything worse. And that's not what you want. You want to figure out how
Yep.
to positively build your circle, even if it's a small circle. Actually, especially if it's a small circle, because then if those are going to be your go-tos, they got to be healthy, right? You don't want to keep going back to some, to toxic waste. You want to go back to
Mm-hmm.
like healthy, good stuff. The other thing I will tell you, and I was kind of shocked to
Right.
learn this, is loneliness can cause
Mm-hmm.
like serious, observable health concerns, right? Health disease. This is coming from research. Health disease,
Right. Right.
type 2 diabetes, arthritis, um, lonely people
Right.
are more prone to develop Alzheimer's disease. In your body, physiologically, things are happening where you're like building up your stress hormones, you stopping your sleep, and your even your immune system can be weakened. So like this really does have adverse effects. And if you're dealing with all of that stuff, I mean, forget about a love life, forget about a dating life, forget about romance. You about to die. So yeah,
Right.
you need to
Right.
to take care of that. All right. I know. It sounds kind
Oh
of
God.
like harsh, but seriously, right? It's important,
You
right?
are
Right?
about to die.
You are about to die. Okay. So when because in relationships we always say, I'm taking care of me. I'm dealing with me. Well, that the nitty gritty, like the in the mud stuff of that is this. Like for me, I never thought about taking care of myself as doing a loneliness evaluation check. I never thought about that. You know, like how do I make sure that I'm good to be in a healthy relationship with
Right.
somebody else?
Right.
Like, have I ever taken the time to do these kind of evaluations on myself? No, but this is actually the work that if you do it and you do get yourself right, when you do move on, when you're ready to move on to like a romantic relationship, you're going to be that much better for yourself and for the
Right.
other person. You know, so take it to heart
Mm-hmm.
because it really does. This is part of that preparation, making yourself the partner that someone else would want to be with.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I know we also noted that some of us pandemic has made us still
Mm.
lonely. A lot of people lost a lot of people. So you may not have certain people around. The isolation of it all made people be
Mm-hmm.
alone and actually start enjoying being alone. Because of it, now you don't even want to go out. Because you've been alone for so long
Mercy.
and you're like, okay, I'm good. You don't even want to experience anybody. So you have to like ask yourself, is this
Yeah,
healthy?
people. Yeah.
That's a good question to ask yourself. Is this Is this healthy for me to be so isolated or be alone? Because even though you may enjoy your
Mm-hmm.
own company, is it still a good thing alone all the time? Not to say
Right.
there's nothing wrong with being alone, and it also is and it asking yourself, is my joy and happiness attached to someone else being around me? And then find
Yeah.
ways. And then once you answer that question for yourself, you can also find ways for you to cultivate your own type of happiness within yourself by learning what you like exploring who you are. I know that when I had this one dating experience with this guy. He ended up not going to the movies with me, and I ended up going by myself. And that was the
Mm-hmm.
first time that I ever went to the movies by myself, and it felt
Mm.
so good. I was like, "Oh, this feels good. I can do this all the time." If can't nobody go with me, or they don't want to go see this particular movie, I'm gonna go see it by myself. Because then you end up shortchanging your life by not experiencing the things that you want to experience because you feel like you have to be with someone in order to do it. Because a lot of people feel like
Excellent.
they have to go out to dinner with somebody. They have to have somebody to go with them to go do their certain things. For real, you don't want to go, I'm good. I'll go. I want you to go with me, but if you can't go, I respect that and I will go without you. I
Right.
have gone
Right.
to many concerts. I've gone to the movies. I've eaten lunch and dinner and breakfast by myself. And it didn't mean that I didn't want anybody there with me. It just means that I am still happy and content even if I have to do it by myself.
Let me
So
jump in on
it
that.
says you can you know go ahead.
When I was in Korea, there was this restaurant that I loved. It was so good. It was Pakistani food. Oh my goodness, rice, tandoori chicken,
Okay.
I'm getting so excited. What is it? The curries, all the curries, right? But I always went there with a group of people, and so I was limited into what I could get. But one time, I
Mhm.
went by myself. It was the most glorious meal that I have had at that restaurant to this day.
Mhm.
Yeah, understands me. Like the best food, I got exactly what I wanted. I was like, man, usually I only get one rice and one, so, but I'm gonna get all the three rices that I've been curious about. I'm gonna get all the sauces that I want. Get this kind of naan right there and that one right there, and I can mix it around. I could do everything. It was great. It was great. I'm with you. Go by yourself to things sometimes.
Right. That's right, Carol. Solo dates are bomb. And Eventbrite, mom, that's good. Yep, you can go on Eventbrite and you can find out what's going on in your area that you enjoy. That's
Hmm.
really good. So we're winding down now. Trying to make this a good tight hour. So let's jump. So if you are, so ask yourself the question: can you be with you? You know,
Hmm.
and if you cannot be with you, find out why. Like, what? Why
Ooh,
cannot? Sometimes it could be.
that's
I
deep.
I will say that if you get deep with it, it could be. Sometimes it could have something to do with your childhood. If you were always
Mm,
left alone, and now as an adult,
mm,
you have the capacity to control whether or not you are with people or not, then
hmm.
that could be fostering this thing of having to have this need of always wanting to be with people. And then it could be the opposite too. You're around too many people. You grew up with the all around blah blah, and now you're like, look, I just want to be by myself. Leave me alone.
Too many folks. Leave me
So yeah,
alone.
it's just asking yourself those
Yeah,
questions. Yeah, just too many. Leave me alone.
yeah.
But also the flip side of this, as far as relationships, we know again that this is a season of holidays and family, and people don't like to be alone during the holidays. So verywellmind.com has some tips on how you can be good to yourself during this holiday season if you don't have a boo, if you don't have anybody to be around. So it says that for you to be good to yourself, do things for yourself in the form of self-care. Remember that you
Hmm.
are not alone, and others feel the same way that you do. They experience these things as well. You know, you can go to, oh yeah, there's a community group on Facebook, and you can do a hashtag lonely holiday. And there's a lot of people who are just like you who don't have anybody. So there's a group of people for everybody.
Oh yeah.
So you can go online and find a group of people. Look, I mean, conversation and have something that you're interested in, especially like if you're into gaming or if you're into art
Hmm.
or whatever. You can go on Facebook or Instagram and find a group, or they have a lot of groups. You can go on there and find groups that are doing things, as well as like my mom said, Eventbrite. You can go to Eventbrite. Um,
Hmm.
Carol says, "I'm a good person and a great catch." Yes, you are, Carol. You better say it and know it for yourself.
That's
You better
right.
say
That's
it
right.
and know it for yourself. Um, that's right. Another thing you can do to about this time of holiday is to give to others, volunteer. Volunteer
Hmm.
opportunities going on as far as at homeless shelters or at the food bank, or find out what kind of volunteer opportunities are going on in your area, and that way you can focus on somebody else instead of focusing on yourself. Because when we're focused on what we don't have, then we're so just concerned about it. But when we think about the people who may not have anything, and we focus
Hmm.
on them, we get back to them, it'll give us a sense of belonging, and it'll make us feel good at the same time. You've helped someone in need, and you'll end up helping yourself as well, because now you're around people. You're not alone
Yeah.
anymore. Um, it says yes. It says it helps you find that you are a part of something larger than yourself. There's
Yeah.
always someone who has it worse than you. I hear that all the time, and that is so true. My
Hmm.
car, I need a whole new car. Well, there's somebody around, there's somebody who's out there who don't have a car. So when I get in my car, I say, God, I thank you for my car. And I know I'm going to get a new car one day. But
One
right
day.
now, I thank you for my car and bless those who don't
Mm-hmm.
have a car, because I remember not having a car. Yes. Also, you found the brighter side of being alone, um, from jedfoundation.org.
Mm-hmm.
Being alone helps you to know yourself. There's no
Yes.
judgment for other people unless you're judging
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Um, you can imagine, you can use that time to be creative
Mm-hmm.
and focus on your purpose and your dreams and your passions while you're alone. You can reboot yourself. Is that what that means? Rebooting.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Restart, man. Take
rebooting
it. Just
yourself.
give yourself a. Just give yourself
um,
a check
yeah,
in and
restart.
then like refresh. Yeah.
Yes, and limit distractions when you're alone. So I know I heard this young lady say the other day in a clubhouse group. She says right now, she said, I'm just dating for recreational purposes. Basically, it's just for entertainment. She said and she's happy where she is as far as like, because she wants a and so if you're business minded, yes, you want to have somebody, but will that person who's coming into your life be a distraction?
Mm.
It's going to all those parties that's going on right now. It's going to be a whole bunch of Christmas parties and New Year's Eve parties. You're longing to want to be in all of those different places. Is that going to
Mm-hmm.
distract you from what the common goal is, what your main goal is, which is pursuing your passion and your purpose? Because once all those parties are over, January 1st is going to hit, and it's going to be time for you
Mercy.
to do what? That's whatever you were trying to do before all that stuff was happening, it's still going to be there. So
Yep.
you want to focus on that. So ask yourself,
Yeah.
can you be with you? There's nothing wrong with being alone. You just don't want it to fester into loneliness, which festers into sadness and depression. And we
Mm-hmm.
don't want you to go there. And I want to go ahead and say that I pray everyone who is listening right now, if you are watching this and it's for everybody else has someone and you don't, it's okay. God wants you to do what
Yep.
you don't want to do so you can do what you want to do. And right now, what you don't want to do is be alone. But let me tell you, if you believe and pray and desire, God will bring him or her to you and put them in your scene at the right time. Just know that when you're in
Mm-hmm.
this waiting season, it is important for you to focus on God and yourself, get everything together. And oh my goodness, Carol. I know. But you can also
Lovely lady.
yes, yeah. And right. So and also for those who are in relationships or who are married, if you feel alone relationship, it's time to have those good conversations with your mate
Right.
out. So you can tell them, look,
Right.
I
Right.
feel
Right.
alone right now and I feel alone. When we're together, but I still feel alone. Have those conversations because you don't want that stuff to fester. And then the next thing you know, y'all about to go down and start signing. Before you went anything
Mercy.
like that from happening, go ahead and have the conversation. Did you have a final conclusion? I know you have a scripture, and then I have a
Yeah.
quote.
Shoot, man. Yeah. No. I agree with you. I agree with you, man. Lean into loneliness so that you can lift yourself out of loneliness. I guess that would be my kind of like concluding thought. Right. Don't try to fight it. Learn it, understand it,
Mhm.
so that you can work work with it and master the art of being alone, right? Change loneliness into being alone and then operate from there. um, that's kind of like my takeaway from that,
Right,
because you're working on being better yourself. Yeah, so
right.
just become the master of the situation.
Got
Do you want me to share my verse?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yes.
All right, so this verse is Matthew, in the book of Matthew, y'all, chapter 11, verse 28. It says, "Come to me, All of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And I love that one because it's like, look, man, if you're feeling like this, I got some tools for you. I'm gonna help you understand rest. God's inviting somebody to come. So it's like, hey, companionship. You feeling lonely? Come hang out with me. And when you hang out with me, I'm gonna give you some good stuff that you can benefit from in this time of loneliness. So, you always got Jesus. Yeah, always got Jesus. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble connecting. The devil is
The devil is a lie.
trying today, but not today, Satan.
Not
The devil
today.
is a liar. Not today.
Not
Not
today.
today, Satan. All right, so I have a quote. Y'all, that was Matthew 11:28. I was trying to put it up on the thing, but it's not letting me. So,
Yeah.
so my quote is from me. My quote is from me. I put being alone is liberating. When you enjoy being alone, you reach a level of self that says, I'm good enough by myself.
Fire.
You are good enough by yourself. Being alone. Don't forget that you can, there's nothing wrong with being alone. We just don't want to get into loneliness. But you are good at, when you reach, let me tell you, when you reach that level of like, oh my gosh, this feels so good to be by myself because I'm learning so much about myself. You have reached a whole nother level of self-awareness. Like, I'm good by myself. I'm content where there's a song out there. There is a song out right now called Content. I don't know. It's a church song, a gospel song. No,
Yeah.
I think it's by Maverick City. But it's talking about being content and being content right where you are. It's all about being content right where you are and not
Be
allowing
content. Be
those feelings
content.
of unworthiness on you and make you think that enough because you are.
Right.
That is Jira. Thank you. Jira. That was the
Gyra.
name of it. Jira. I am that's right. I will be content.
Be
Yes.
content.
And circumstance. God is enough.
Circumstance.
He is our provider
Mm-hmm.
and he will provide. So I am praying that everybody who does not have someone, and I'm talking about romantically, but who doesn't have a community of people to love on them, that God will send people your way who are going to be there to help you and support you and motivate you to live your best life and to pursue your dreams and your purpose and your passion. All right. All right. So
Yes,
that
sir.
is today's episode of The Way Love Goes.
Yes,
Don't
indeed.
forget to like, subscribe, and share and comment on all the social media platforms. We only have
Do it.
Instagram, Instagram and
And
YouTube. So
YouTube.
YouTube, subscribe and like and share. And then on Instagram, go to The Way Love Goes Pod. And then if you like to comment or send us, anything,
Show
the way love goes
ideas.
Gmail.
Topics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The way love goes pod. Yeah. The way love goes pod at gmail.com. And then let us know in the comments section how you combat loneliness, or
Yeah.
are you content with being alone? Do you find solace in being alone?
Ooh,
Or do you not?
solace.
So let us know. Ooh.
Good word.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh. The word for the
Intelligence.
day is
Solace. Hmm.
solace. I don't know where that came from, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but I think I just dropped down the word of the day today. But
Download.
yeah,
That's a
but thank you
dead
so much, you
divine
guys,
download.
for
Mm-hmm.
my mom said all minds are clear. If all minds are clear, if all minds are clear.
Yes. Yes.
We will see you next week. We Yeah, we're gonna be back next week, right? The day of
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
we meet next week. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
After
we'll be
after
back.
y'all that shopped
Yeah, we'll
all
be back
day.
next week, the day of Thanksgiving. So yeah, you shopped all day. We'll be back at 2:30. If anything changes, we will let you know. So we'll see you back next week, next Friday. And that
The
is the way. Come
way
on, my brother.
love goes.
Goes. Bye, you guys.
Yeah.